That'd be funny. Oops, I should probably. Waiting for stream place. Maybe it's goofed. I don't understand this stuff. Sure, yeah, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't even checked, like, put something there for to focus on. Aim it a bit. Maybe you should have done this first. Still nothing on. So what you do, you set it on auto. You put something there for to focus on. You set it to fixed. It does it anyway. So I don't. Oh, you know what? I bet you. Oh, the wrong machine. No. Next. Start next. Okay, start next. Is it not running? That's why it's not running. S tunnel. Okay, so. How the hell do we do this? How about now? Oh, I did it. Okay. Okay, so that was the problem. There's no S tunnel. Now, let's try the brand new I'm Gone Live thingamajig on ye old Sky of Blue. You go here, you go here, Go live. There we go. Okay, now I have my water. I have my spicy wheat juice. As they say, LFG. Try to remember. This is the thing, whenever you run into like a technical snag, you're like, what the hell was I even doing? At least I find that. Seriously. Okay. Let's just update the thingamajig. Oh my god. Let's not update the thingamajig. Hit the old mastodon. Jesus Christ, mastodon. I promise I'll start in just a second. Good grief. I got cookies, got beer. All right. Oh. And then I get a phone call. Jesus Christ. No, I'm not answering it. Okay. Oh, no. Jesus Christ. You know what? No. I don't know why this does this, actually. Oh my God. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so it turns out that these things are starting to die. The what's it called on them? The contacts are scratched or something like that, and so they don't make a circuit. And so, yeah, anyway. And the freaking marimba thing, I don't know, that's like WhatsApp on the Mac desktop doing that, because I don't have, yeah, anyway. Freaking everything needs to be replaced. Like, everything needs to be replaced. I need to replace all the things. I'm going to just trim my volume here, because apparently I'm loud. Okay. So, I'm going to just look at... So, I want to do something about this. This is my... this did not go. There we go. I want to do something about this. And it's got a bunch of things. You've seen this. It's got a bunch of things like that should be there, but it's not, because honestly, I just trying to figure out what the hell to even like put at this point. So that's one thing that I want to look at. Another thing that I want to look at is like intertwingler, like planning intertwingler / sense atlas for the year. Just sort of like what the heck to do with it. Basically, I wanna. Like, I figured it would be a year to get Sense Atlas going, like, as, like, something that is mature enough that, like, you know, a normie can come along with a credit card and plug it in. I have no idea. Let's do that. That's just, like, an arbitrary number this year. The scope of it. Here's the joke: is that this thing is supposed to help with scope, and of course I actually have to like make it do that. So it's like part of the job is getting this thing into a position where it can tell me how long the job will be. Oh my God! Don't inhale that. Oh. Okay, but first, I want to talk about what I want to talk about actually. Well, actually, is I want to talk about, and maybe what I should do is I don't know, actually. I want to take, I don't like any of these. This is the only one that I think is mature enough that I can actually like turn into training sessions. And that's basically like the guts, or not the guts exactly, but the sort of the methodology, not even the methodology, just the technique that I use to make Sense Atlas and Intertwingler. Did that not even go? Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I swear to God, nothing freaking works right now. Did that go? What the hell? I can't tell. Jesus Christ. Okay, that actually sent. All right. Okay. So I want to do something with this. Excuse me, it's the beer talking. Yeah, I want to do something with this, and I want to. I don't know. I'm like honestly freaking. I shouldn't do this kind of thing so late, is what it is, because I'm freaking tapped out at this point. It's like, oh, like it's time for doing this, and it's like I have no energy left, so I'm just probably gonna shit talk. Yeah. So let's do that. So, Intertwingler. I want to do app proto PDS integration. Like I want it to be a PDS. I want it to have like well, an installation candidate. That should be first. Yeah. So, let's take a look at this. This should actually be like resolved. One thing I need to do actually is get the freaking things resolved. Is it resolved? Is it resolved? Value expired. Is there no way to say this is resolved? Well, whatever. It's weird. That's a Sense Alice thing, though. Open that up too. It's still like super messy, obviously. And it's slow. Let's see, this is a different one. Meat. That's a technical term. Okay. That would be good, actually, though, like at 1.2. Like, I'm calling this, for now, I'm just calling this like the diagnostic view because there's probably better graph visualizations for like different contexts. Maybe not even like a graph at all, but like what this graph visualization does is it shows you everything. And it puts like a sort of a sense to it. Sense Atlas. Oh God, are we seriously? Fucking hell, Christ. I gotta watch that because sometimes it traps the damn key combo. Okay. What was I saying? I was saying these two are different. There we go. Now I wanted to see the goals. I want in. So here is like, you know, intertwingler installable from Ruby. Oops. Get intertwingler. With no snags. Let me find out that this is actually, excuse me, more. You can see it, little guy hiding in there. Get intertwingler installable. Okay, yes. There are a bunch of. This is when you like. This is actually when an LLM would be useful. Is like matching on like semantic matching on stuff. Not even an LLM, like just even like a modest little language model would do it that you could run locally. Anyway, sayings, Jesus Christ. Okay, and I have to fix that. I got so much freaking stuff I gotta do. You can tell this thing is like, I've been doing this stuff for a really long time, so like ergo, like I don't like I don't care if it does like a server round trip, like whatever. We'll fix it in post. I mean, we will fix it in post. Like the way that I've designed this thing is enables me to do that. Okay, so get intertwingler called intertwingler installable. You know what? I'm gonna just load this up too. This is another thing that we're not. There's still like a bunch of legacy crap in here too. Second thing. Can't get it because there's too much stuff in the principle. That is a concept or an audience. I kind of feel like almost like like obviously this is temporary, right? I shouldn't have to explain that this freaking whole lozenge crap down the side is temporary. Just needed something. Needed something. I think that like what eventually I'd like to do is what if I had I mean, like if I had a search interface, like ideally, I think like where I'm sort of thinking about this is like this thing takes up the entire screen because this would like work better in mobile too. This is not helpful. Um, and it's just basically got like a Sherlock box that you, or not a Sherlock, what's that? Spotlight that you start typing. Um, so you can do it in two different ways. Like you can like hover over the thing and it'll be like this is a this, and then you can maybe I don't know. But I could spend months just on this UI. And I would love to get into a position where I can actually just spend months just on this UI. We are not there yet, though, because we have a whole bunch of technical crap to do. And so let's just like focus. Actually, no, let's go back to that. So what else do I want? I want, and you can see sort of like why I needed Intertwingler to make Sense Atlas. Like here's an example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a. Yes, yes, okay. I'm going to just plan. Okay, yes. What do I want in here? I get out of here. I want it to say. This is the other thing too. You sit here thinking like, what should I put? And this is also where you start typing. It's like there is already one of these. Like you should already do that. But like this thing is like the like the inferencing stuff like is actually really helpful at this point. But anyway, the goal. Oh yeah. Make Intertwingler. At proto PDS. I should really, whatever. So, so first of all, there's an issue then that this is going to suggest is PDS. Yes. Make Intertwingler an effort. Yes. What are the challenges to that? Oh yeah, we're gonna reconcile. So we don't even know. So let's put that. We don't even know if lexicon. Oops. Isomorphic to, or even embeds. But we're pretty sure. Well, that has a response, and this response is a task, and the task is determine, try to create a mapping function I'm like reasonably confident that it can. Actually, let's just, there it is. Look at that. Okay, let's just grab that. There's like a, so you can see these guys are kind of building up. What else was there? The other issue is that at Proto speaks what is it? XRPC WebSockets. Jesus Christ, learn to type while intertwingler is very heavily rest. Now, for a PDS, I'm like pretty confident. Like what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of like, so like intertwingler has already, like the idea behind intertwingler is that it's like got sockets anyway, like, or it's not socket, what am I saying? It's got like adapters, like the whole sort of idea behind it is an adapter sort of structure. And so like, you know, request comes in, hits the handler, or like you got a actually I should say that there's like a, how would I even, well no, it would be out the back, that there's like a thing, adapter for WebSockets, and then like the users here, whatever, and they do HTTP, you know, it hits intertwingler, blah blah blah, and then, or they come in through the WebSocket, they're going to go in through the back door, do the WebSocket thing, and then like, I'm pretty confident that you can stick, like you can basically just have like a resource that, you know, it will respond, like it'll basically be like a HTTP, like a vanilla HTTP to WebSocket bridge. And so like the WebSocket's basically like an adapter that's like config, so it, you know, makes the connection or whatever. And I'm sure there's got to be people doing this, right? Like this is not original. But you, so like the client connects to the WebSocket, and then on the other side of it, like what the WebSocket thing is doing is it is hitting a client, like, or hitting an endpoint, which in turn like will hit back out to another endpoint, or what, I don't know how that's going to work quite yet. But it'll make like a sub, you know, request or something like that. And then it'll hit another endpoint, and the endpoint will hit out to, or like it'll basically, that endpoint is like just the bridge on the other side of the socket, of the WebSocket. And so that way, like the point of intertwingler is that that everything in intertwingler is a handler. And I'm gonna get the freaking yeah. So, oops, here we go. It's almost time to re-up the juice. So, I am looking at this, right? Yes. All right. So this is how intertwingler works. And I'm actually starting to think that this reverse proxy guy like belongs inside here, but we'll figure that out. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, the user's got the browser, whatever, they do the thing, it does the URL, blah, 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 goes to the resolver, you got request transforms, you hit the dispatcher, one of the content handlers picks it up, and then sends it back to the dispatcher. The dispatcher starts the output queue, yada, yada, yada. So what I'm thinking is like the network thing, like I have a different one. Yeah. Do I not have an SVG here? I do. I do not have it. Yeah, anyway. So, this is a much older diagram. This is before intertwingler existed. This is what has been implemented. Ish. No, yeah, actually it has. And so this guy, similar idea, you've got the user and they make a request. There's these presentation transforms. Some of them happen in the client, some of them happen on the server. This, I hope, looks familiar to people. You have the address resolver, then it goes to the authentication authorization, blah, blah, blah. You got a content transform here. Now that is this guy, the stuff. It's not quite the same, but whatever. And so, and then you have this sort of like idea of like the content, which is like, it's like this is the actual content handler. And then you have the actual storage on the disk, whatever that is, that has nothing to do with HTTP. Disk. Jesus, does anybody have disks anymore? Anyway, so I want to know when this was made. When did I make this? August 4th, 2020. That's a lie. Well, I think it's older than that. But I don't know how much older than that. Well, let me just actually here. Let's go through. Find star dash name star.xml xr grab website. Oh, you know what? Actually, I could look through the amended. Oh, we have no idea. 23, 2020, got 2019. 2020. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Apparently, there is this. What is amended from that, other than the spacing? I feel like Pam from The Office, they're the same picture. I don't see it. Whatever. Yeah. I'm going to just a second here. Did that work? Okay. Where was I? Got my adult barley juice, spicy juice. Oop. I thought I could toggle the mute. So the thing about, I'm using freaking EXWM. As you can probably tell, this is all Emacs all the time. Let me just figure out where I was here. There we go. Drooling. So, anyway, the bottom line is I could make a handler for web sockets. And then I could make like a bunch of like other handlers that basically like do things. So actually just like let's look at XRPC anyway. Let's just bring you over there. There's the lexicon. So builds on top of the data model. We didn't want that. We want to bring you over here. Lexicon. And I know there's like a lexicon garden. So this like lexicons are JSON files, whatever. We can make JSON LD. Like maybe I need to sort of like, oh, we did it again. Maybe I need to like explain why, just a second here. I use RDF and why I have used RDF. It's coming up on 20 years, you guys. 20 years. So, let's go to my vocabs, first of all. The number one reason why I use RDF is because of something that I call the symbol management problem. And, I didn't see that. Sorry, that screen was covered. Cody Wiseman, you're probably not there anymore on Twitch. I have 3 going right now. I got Twitch, YouTube, and Streamplace going, and there was something covering up the chat on Twitch, so I didn't see it. So I'm working on some planning right now. And I'm trying to figure out, so I've got this software. Intertwingler. It's an application server. It is where am I here? This guy. It is the substrate for this thing called Sense Atlas. Sense Atlas is a collaborative sort of planning and like deliberation tool. The point of Sense Atlas is design rationale. Like the idea is you get a bunch of issues in here, and then you can kind of like map out like all the dependencies, all the stakeholders. You get them all. You don't lose anything. Everything's addressable. You can point to the URLs, copy and paste them, stick them in an email, that kind of a thing. The idea is to have a sort of like a durable place where all of your sort of like design knowledge goes to live. That's what Sense Atlas is. Intertwingler is the substrate. It's underneath. It's like an application server. So like Intertwingler is like Intertwingler is to Sense Atlas what Ruby on Rails is to Basecamp. Except I would call Intertwinglers more like an application server per se than it is like a frame, like an MVC framework, because you don't do that kind of like stuff in Intertwingler. It's not really for apps exactly. Like I've been calling it more like dense hypermedia. Like what you're seeing on the screen is, I would consider this to be dense hypermedia. And like the way that something like Sense Atlas works is that it's like almost no software. Like there's like, it's meant to be multiplayer. It's not super great at being multiplayer yet, because I actually that's like a thing that I need to put into this right now is like, okay, so there's this thing. I will load it up. So there's this thing that's been around for a while now. It's called issue-based information system. This is the thing you want to see. This is the thing, so mind maps, not so much. I mean, mind maps, sure. This is more of a beefier thing than a mind map. Because there's like 3 classes of object. There's issues, which are like things in the world that you need something done about. There's positions, which are like, we should do this particular thing about this issue. And then there's arguments, like why or why not. And then they can raise new issues and have positions. And so it goes around and around, and it like basically builds up these things. And like, this is what this is. Now I have extended this thing called IBIS. That's what this is. You see right there, it says IBIS. So I have extended this. Where did we go? Yes. So I have these things called goals and tasks and targets. So the idea is like an issue, there are issues in here. Like the pink ones are issues. What is that? Where's a good one? Let me find one. Well, here's one. Actually, this should be a goal. So that wasn't a good example. But there's an inheritance model. So like, whereas something like a mind map, like it doesn't have any types. And so when you see stuff like Obsidian, for example, or like logseek, or even like Roam, there's no types. There's Notion and Tana have types, and they are actually, I think Tana's even made on top of RDF. But yeah, so my whole idea sort of underpinning this thing is like, first of all, like I started off and I wanted one of these things. I wanted something that would do this. And so I made one in 2013. I made a prototype that was basically this. And but it was like bad. I couldn't extend it. And so it took me a while. Actually, you know what? It even shows you in the issue. So it shows like the structure there. And you can see like you can have like an argument that like simultaneously supports one thing and opposes another thing. Just as a for instance, that's what this guy's doing there. So you can have a position that solves more than one or resolves more than one issue. And there's like people have been making. If I click the dot source graphics inside, I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, this is a sort of a it's a hyperbolic graph. The idea is like there's like a direction to the stuff. So you'll notice that like the things sort of cluster around the center, and there's like a different one here. So stuff clusters around the center. And the idea is that I have found just in using this software is like something that I have found is like when you're dealing with like clients and stuff, like the higher up the exec is, the less details they want to know. And nevertheless, like the details are the things that you need to actually figure out to do the thing. And there's often a gap when you from transmitting the intent of the boss person into actual like actionable things for people to do. There's like basically stuff gets lost. And so the idea behind Sense Atlas in particular is like I wanted to be able to like tweet software requirements. Like that's basically, I mean, it doesn't have to just be software, but like I wanted to make it so that accumulating like any sort of like design heavy, any sort of thing that requires like a lot of thinking and like dealing with trade-offs and so on, like all of that stuff, any of that, I wanted to make sure that like you could just tweet it into this thing more or less, like the same amount of effort as it does to take to send like a DM, like whatever, a text message. I wanted to take like 10 seconds to record the information, and importantly, attach it to the next thing, and then attach it like in a way that there's like a semantic connection so that it knows like what that means. So like just as so this is this like, I want to, this is a goal now. And it's like the goals have a response. These are the things that you need to do to do the goal. Some of them are, so there's like an upgrade path. I made, where are we here? I'm going to say like vocab. Process model. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So a goal, is that not clickable? It should be clickable. And then you can actually go to the issue. So let's just pop that open too. So this is the same thing more or less, right? Like nope. Go back to this. So yeah, this is the basic structure that we're interested in. This like issue gets position argument, more issues, arguments, position, blah, 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 blah. It just gets, builds out the structure. That's the basic structure. The extended structure is this process model ontology that I'm working on right now. That's where you've got these goals, and the idea, like what I have found when I work on projects is there's a conflation between a goal and a target. And by that I mean, like a goal is like a binary thing. It's like, yes, it's basically any sort of complex project, like it is the purpose of it is to map out, where are we here? Like this map is a description of the project. It's actually, there are two. This map is for the front end. This map is for the back end. Sometimes some of the ones are in both. And if you're looking in the center is the more like higher level, ordinary language. You get into the weeds and it's like tech shit. It's like, and then the other thing too is also when you do that, it rebases to the center and it'll show you once it finally gets there. Anytime, Bueller. It's decided to take a nap when every time. There we go. It's off in the weeds. You're off in the weeds now. All of the real stuff is happening over there. And you're on something that has to do with middleware, password, whatever. Oh, yeah, okay. That is something else. So yeah, the idea is like it's in hyperbolic space, so like it gets bigger the farther it goes away from the center. But yes, like the idea. So what I have found is, and this is the big reason why I did this is because a lot of the jobs I do, a big part of the job is just figuring out what the job even is. And if you do that, there's like all sorts of things with like dependencies and like conflicts and like, then there's like stakeholders. There's all the things that people need that have to be taken into account. There are like specific courses of action. There are like, maybe the thing is like, oh, you need to research that stuff or like whatever. So like the idea is to like the IBIS stuff. So like just the stuff that is the like pink, lime green, and like blue dots. So those are issues, positions, and arguments. Those are not necessarily actionable. This sort of champagne colored gold one, that's a goal, which I thought was clever. Now, a goal like is supposed to be actionable. A goal is like, or is supposed to be like it's a thing that you want to have exist in the world, but it doesn't tell you how, right? And this is the thing is like when you look at like management texts and whatnot, they will say, well, a goal is not a goal unless it has a deadline. And I mean, I understand why people say that, but I understand why people say that. But the problem is, and I mean, the problem that I have found at least is that you can't put a number on something unless you know how you're going to do it. And so, like determining the method, like that you're like how you're going to do whatever it is you're going to do, like I have personally found is like just like a big part of the job. And so part of what this is to do is to smoke that out, right? Like the whole idea of like putting down a thing like, oh, like we're going to do this thing. Oops, but there's a problem. And then you like write down what that is. And then you just iterate and then you go and you get these kinds of structures. And again, like what you're looking at, like the dot in the center of the circle, it's always in the center, whatever's in focus, is the same thing that's in this lozenge here. And then in the neighborhood, you can see like the immediate, like this cartouche kind of thing represents all of the neighbors of that particular type, and you can see they light up. I don't know if you can see they light up. Yeah, you kind of can. And so on. And then there's like also this neighbor there. You can see that light up. And so like those are all of the ways that they can connect together. And so anyway, so that is like the kind of the sort of the basic structure of this thing. And again, like if you sit with this for like an hour or two, I find like after like about 2 hours of this, I need to take a break at the outside. But after about an hour or two, like you get quite a bit of stuff. You get built up. Oops. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, make intertwinkler and add proto PDS. So add proto speaks for WebSockets. I would say let's make this a position for now. Determine a way reconcile resource with WebSocket semantics. So like message types. Actually, no, we're not going to do that quite. That where you're going to say we want to reconcile, create. Actually, we'll do this. Create an adapter that will map between ordinary HTTP resources and WebSocket. I'm going to put an argument on this one too. That way, it'll be easy to make microservices that just respond to certain types. This will make it easy. Where are we here? Supported by a HTTP, a REST to WebSocket. Adapter will make it easy to write well, to make it easy to write microservices, vanilla HTTP, microservices. Whatever. And that is our argument. So every time it's like it's weird. Sometimes it's not slow and sometimes it's slow. Anyway. So let's actually just like look at this anyway. I'm actually looking at permission set. So one thing that's gonna suck for sure in reconciling is arrays. That's gonna suck for sure. Graphemes. What is a Unicode grapheme cluster? What does Unicode consider to be a grapheme cluster? Sequences of code points. Unicode segmentation. Whatever. Okay. Question is, how do you make a PDS? Continuous event streams, yes. Transport agnostic and defined in lexicons, K. So how's that gonna look? Right? Like, so we got this XRPC. This is all way low level stuff. Headers, yeah. NSID. That's just like the dotted. So this is a thing that's going to just be like, this is like Java. Oh yeah, right. Doi. Always forgot to freaking move the damn thing over. Authority SQ period must have at least 3. Maximum total. Okay, who the hell cares about any of that shit? Yeah, this is whatever. Who cares? Why? Suitable SID. I haven't like really actually looked at this super heck of a lot. I feel like it's like I'm so in your like I'm like yeah I know. Like, it's like okay, you know. That's my attitude towards like yeah, yet another protocol, yep, yet another data you know, like fine, I get it. Cryptography. There's no one like cryptography. Not included. I don't understand. I don't actually understand this. I mean, why are they? I don't understand the difference between. This came up earlier today, the SEC P256K1. What is the P or prime? Is it included? Blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. What are compressed? Oops. Medium. I gotta love this, like, I'm an officer of the British Empire. You like, those are some letters to put next to your name. OBE. I like made a joke to myself, like I should try to get the Order of Canada, just for the lulz. Okay. I don't care. Anyway. Okay. This like min graphemes. Max graphemes. Let me just look up shackle for a second. Ooh. Whatever. It might. I doubt it. Core constraint. What does it mean? This is what we do all day. It actually doesn't really string place. Length. Minimum length. But it doesn't define it. Well, let's just make that an issue. Screw it, man. Let's just that's what this is for. We need to go here. My God, one thing. Where are we here? Suggest when a lexicon appears to use. What did I call it? Grapheme clusters? Grapheme clusters. Oops. Where's my stuff? This is my problem. I'm like, where the hell? There we go. Where did it go? My lovely grapheme. Unicode grapheme clusters as the unit for text length. Just leaving that there because that's what that's for. That is like 1,000. Because like this is like this is exactly the kind of like use case for something like Sense Atlas. Is you're like, I'm gonna research some stuff, and then you're like, here's a note. Lexicon appears to use Unicode. You know, so then it's gonna be like, find out if shackle also uses the same unit. That's a task. And that's how this works. I think I deserve a cookie for that. Might be re-up beer time. Time 2:54. Okay. That's right, right? Yes. Okay. So that's a subtask now, right? You can see the structure there. Anyway, that's like not exactly what I wanted to do right yet. But, going back to this, I might do this again in the morning. We'll see. Thinking. Thinking a lot. No. What are we doing here? What are we doing? I think I'm like getting tired, but I'm not like quite tired enough yet. Huh. I'm no longer live. What? Weird. Whatever. There was a thing that I was doing. Oh yeah. There's a thing called loop. But like the big thing I think that I need to figure out is where are all these? So we'll go back to this. I want to use Intertwinkler to run my WordPress. Okay, method to start put nation software onto Intertwinkler. What does that need? This is the big one insofar as capabilities is concerned. Okay, there's a number. There's a bunch of stuff. Actually, you know what? I want to go back to this. I want a sub goal here. Does that have a sub goal? I guess we just generalize. And that is, I want nature of software. I want TNOS to be an online community verb basically around. I want to be effectively a discussion board around the book, running on sort of augmented, structured whatever, we'll just do that. Put the cookies away because I'm just gonna. So the thing is, like, you go to the grocery store like at 9 o'clock and like they got cookies it's for cheap. They're not the day olds, but they're like gonna be day olds, and you're like, $3? All right. So I want TONOS to be like a structured discussion board around the book, running on Intertwinkler with data, other structured data resources, whatever. Take forever to load. Well, what is that? Oops, I didn't mean to click that. Put intertwinkler.net on Intertwinkler. Intertwinkler.net would actually be the easiest thing to put on Intertwinkler. I want like some kind of procedural music that plays while I do this. I've looked into it a little bit. I don't want like AI music. Like, not that I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, maybe I don't know. Who knows if I've heard AI music or not. I doubt it. Well, I don't know. Anyway. But I'm talking about like OG, like procedural. Like, we have like certain rules for like how music is supposed to work. And then like, we're just going to explore that space. That kind of stuff. Like, that would be interesting. Like, I don't know anything about music theory. But I would learn to be able to make something like that. Probably wouldn't be very good or sophisticated. Anyway. Yeah, I can feel myself getting tired because it says 11 o'clock. I need to do. Oh yeah, that's like one thing that I definitely want to do. Is link previews. That's a goal. But we have to go for. Should get link previews. That should be in this guy. Hello. Hello. What is going on with my typing? Oh, did you do this again, you bastard? Keyboard's fucked. Oh, no, wait. Yep, keyboard's hosed. That was like, it. That was like 30 seconds ago. Thanks, Emacs. I don't think it's retrievable. No. Nope. That is a signal to shut it down because the only thing to do is to kill it and start it all over. And I'm not going to do that and like try to retrieve this freaking stream. But my stream didn't die this time 47 times or even once. And the reason why is because I have the damn Ethernet jack plugged into a thing that doesn't die. So there. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm exhausted because I just realized I've been up since 5 in the morning. Because it was the snow made it so freaking light out that I thought it was like I just opened my eyes. I'm like, oh, it's morning, and it's like, no, it's not. It's not even 5 o'clock. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna shut it down. So later.